Hey, welcome back to another video. It seems the court cases with the gamers lawsuit just isn't going away, and it looks like it's been thrown out again. But let's have a look at the particulars of this case and what it is that they brought to the table this time, because it's just an annoying gnat that just isn't going away, and it's just, at this point, I don't even know why they're bothering, and it's getting on borderline harassment. I think Microsoft at this point should turn the tables and should start suing the gamers who are actually trying to get this through and saying, you know, it's failed this many times. What is it that you're trying to do at this point? And, you know, go after the law firms as well and see how quickly they actually decide that they're going to stop doing this, because it's getting annoying. But before we get into that, let's check out the last two videos' top comments. We do have over here from the Black Knight 1620, the salt would be biblical. Now obviously what he's referring to here, this is the Square Enix video where there was a rumor going around that Xbox could be buying Square Enix. Now obviously this was a rumor, and I've mentioned that multiple times in the video, and I put it on the thumbnail, so it wasn't no clickbait or anything. But, you know, it absolutely would be biblical. I wouldn't expect Microsoft to make it exclusive in any of their games, honestly. I would expect all of Square Enix's games to remain multi-platform. I mean, maybe even go to Nintendo Switch too. That would actually be pretty awesome, because they would actually finally start to get games as well. But I do think he is bang on the money here, where the salt would be biblical. And in my next video, the game preservation, we have Stephen Kennedy 6870 here saying, I'm a simple guy. Whatever platform can save me the most money is where I'll go. And Xbox does that. Exclusivity be damned. I want to game and play new experiences. Game Pass allows me to do this. And that's, honestly guys, that is the general, you know, thought factor here for most gamers. I know you have the subset like myself who do care for exclusives, as they are important to the ecosystem, to the platform, but the majority just want to play games, and Game Pass does provide that in abundance. Thank you very much to everyone who has laid a comment. There was a couple of close calls there, especially one from Taz, which would have been interesting. But nice try, buddy. Anyway, getting back to the actual video now, and we have this from Games Fry. Now let's read this first and see what it says. Plaintiffs filed their latest request for a temporary restraining order preliminary injunction on Wednesday, March 13. The next day, the court ordered Microsoft to respond to solely the TRO request by Tuesday, March 26. In plaintiffs' reply to support of a TRO, they argued that the reports by their expert, Dr. Cabral, are unrebutted, and therefore they have shown a likelihood of success on the merits. This is the dude that couldn't answer a single question, I believe, in the FTC case, who got absolutely slaughtered and ripped apart on almost every single point he made. This is the person that they're relying on. This argument is legally baseless for reasons Microsoft has already explained, but it is also factually incorrect. As plaintiffs know, Microsoft expert Dr. Elizabeth Bailey submitted a report in this matter that rebutes Dr. Cabal's report. So it was him, I remembered correctly. Most of which are directed to horizontal claims that the court previously dismissed. Simply to correct plaintiff's erroneous implication, Microsoft requests leave to supplement the record with Dr. Bailey's report in this matter, attached as Exhibit A. So basically they're saying, we already done this in the in the actual big trial. Here is the response that was given by Dr. Bailey. It was accepted then, it's going to be accepted now, because nothing has changed. As such, Dr. Cabal's statement, which was ripped apart then, still stands, as there is nothing new to add to this. Plaintiffs have had this report since January and deposed Dr. Bailey prior to filing their reply brief. Plaintiffs confirmed in writing that they object to this notion and there was no requirement to meet and confer further. So basically what they're saying is the plaintiffs had this information and chose to ignore it by saying, you know, even though the court accepted it back then and it was legally valid and an actual argument point that actually won the argument, these plaintiffs are saying that that should be disregarded as it's not material evidence. I mean, these people clearly they're smoking something that I don't know, but clearly they're onto this. Is, you know, this is getting silly now. This is you know, it's just annoying. But Microsoft's lawyers are not taking any chances regarding ABK, not even when there's a long shot motion pending in the private, mislabeled gamers lawsuit. They asked Judge Corley to take note of an economic expert report when deciding on the anti-layoffs motion. So again, the gamers lawsuit, not to this one, but the prior one, was actually trying to say that, look, now that you've put Microsoft through this, 1,900 people were laid off, and it's a direct result of Microsoft taking over. The fact that Sony laid off 900 people, Embracer laid off thousands, Amazon laid off thousands, and all the other gaming industries and gaming companies, studios, publishers have laid off hundreds and thousands of people is totally irrelevant. The only one that matters is the Microsoft one. That is what these plaintiffs are trying to say, because they are, on a biblical level, morons. For context, motion to bar further layoffs, see this one here. I'll have a link to this in the description below if you want to go check that out. The filing that was just made basically says the class action lawyers claim their economic expert has made arguments Microsoft never disputed, but Microsoft's economic expert actually did. And so, you know, it's just going around in tables. They're just trying to be a nuisance at this point. That expert, Dr. Liz Bailey, delivered a strong performance at last year's FTC preliminary injunction hearing, which she did, and she absolutely obliterated Cabral's legal point, which the FTC got really pissed off at, because even though they tried to intervene and tried to step in and try to, you know, persuade, not even Judge Corley could accept what the guy was saying. When Dr. Elizabeth came through with stats, facts, figures, information, it was ridiculous how the FTC actually believed that they even stood a chance with this guy. I mean, he literally got obliterated on stand. I actually felt sorry for him. That's how bad it was. The new court filing comes only with a sealed version of her export report. Don't get nervous about the ABK deal. Microsoft is not letting its guard down. And then we have this. And this was all done on the 4th of April. Fast forward 5 days and we have this verdict. Judge Corley has already denied this motion by the class action lawyers, claiming to represent gamers. Now at this point, I am starting to think that these class action lawyers, who aren't apparently getting paid, in some way have an affiliation with Sony. They just have to, right? I mean, there's no way that these lawyers, who are not getting paid, are doing this pro bono for the goodwill. No lawyer does that, right? Not this many times. This was their 7th attempt by them, including appeals, to get Microsoft enjoined over the ABK deal, and won't be the last. So, you know, it's expected that they're going to come back again and again. But at what point does this become harassment? At what point does this become, you know, egregious to the point where it just shouldn't continue? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is becoming a comedy state affair, a comedy show, and I think it's just becoming absolutely, you know, it's just becoming stupid. And it's clear that they have no legs to stand on, but they are still pursuing legal action against Microsoft. And now Microsoft has got to the point where they're not even entertaining it anymore. They're just sending depositions that they provided during the FTC case to just shut it down. And as you can see here, Judge Corley, who made a career-defining decision, by the way, has rejected it on the 7th attempt. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. Remain legend.